inspired you to create at the heart of October 7th? At what point did you feel this project needed to become an illustrated book?
Well, I can tell you that all the cartoonists, all the comic artists in Israel, when October 7th happened, we felt we had to do something, we had to do something to help. So we also traveled. People were evacuated from their houses and they were staying in hotels. So we traveled there and we drew them. We had to do something. So suddenly this idea came to me that I began to hear all the stories of heroism that happened on October 7th. The stories began to emerge on social media, in the newspapers. And I read the stories and I said, this would be wonderful stories to tell in comics. So while I was doing all this work in the hotels with my colleagues, I asked them, do you think it's a good idea? And they all said, yes, it's a wonderful idea. Go for it. So I went for it. I'm not, and I did everything I could to make it happen. And I'm so happy it happened and that it now published in Spain, in Spanish.
How do you balance emotion and documentary accuracy when depicting such painful real events?
That's a very good question. Especially for me, I think I can't speak for any other authors. I mean, I'm just one of 12 authors that worked on it. But for me, it was indeed very difficult to change my style from my usual style, which is more funny, comedic, to be more to display the trauma and the feelings that are more that are things that I'm not used to dealing with in my work. So also the thing is that all the artists went to the places where things happened. So we used a lot of reference, we used a lot of photos, we talked to the people. So I think that combined the documentary and the emotional thing. When you combine these two, when the artist goes to the place and works with photographs and interviews, I think this combination comes out as a very powerful visual narrative.
What criteria did you use to select the testimonies that you ultimately appear in the book?
We were lucky enough to have a reporter, Maya Pollack. Maya Pollack, exactly at the same time I was thinking about my project. She is a reporter for the newspaper Corazón, and they did a special supplement, a special little in the magazine that is dedicated to the stories of heroism of October 7th. And they took, I think it was about 100 stories. So she sat down and thought what stories would be, the most visual, the most not to say exciting, but dramatic, because everything was dramatic. But we had to make a choice. So I think that was the main thing, was to think of stories presented well in a visual form. That there is action and movement. It's hard to say, but when you see a story, it'll work well in comics form. So I think that was our how do you say, procedure, our way of working to choose.
What artistic challenges did you face while illustrating such recent and tragic events?
Yes, I think what we tried to avoid was to avoid any too much horror. We tried all the stories, our emphasis is on the humanity and the bravery. We didn't want to shock people. We didn't want to show them, oh, look at the horrible things. We didn't want to show too many blood and guts, and we wanted mostly to show how people persevere, how people decide to do brave things. So that was something that all the artists actually did by themselves without any instructions. They all knew our book is not supposed to be shocking. It's supposed to be human and to portray the bravery of these people and not show how evil Hamas is, you know. So I think that was a big challenge.
And how was the collaboration process with the other artists and researchers involved in the project?
Well, each one worked completely on his own. Maya, she gave us all the contacts, and each one called people, went to the place where it happened, and drew some references, took photos. That's similar, but I think the rest. But afterwards, everybody went to his studio on his own and had to find a way how to tell the story he wanted. So I wasn't involved in anything. The only person who the editor in France, she was, if she had any remarks, she would give them. I gave the artist complete freedom, even the language. I mean, everybody worked in the language he was comfortable in. Some will work in French. I worked in English because I wanted everything to go from left to right. But some worked in Hebrew, and then the French just flipped it. So I wanted every artist to get complete autonomy, because it was very important to me for every artist to have his own voice.
In terms of visual style, did you choose a realistic approach or a more symbolic one to convey the emotions?
That's a decision for every cartoonist made his own decision how to do it, and I think that's what's wonderful about this book, that you have this variety, this diversity, everything. I mean, the whole point of the book is to be diverse. You know, there's the artists that come from different backgrounds. Every one of them is from different backgrounds from Israel and different backgrounds from his comics. You know, there's some guy does superheroes, some guy does comedy, and that's the point, to show a tapestry, you know, a tapestry of different styles, different approaches.
So how do you feel about like presenting
The
or like
presentation, the
in Spain, like to bring the comic to Spain, like the
Yesterday was wonderful. I think everybody who organized it, the organization, the embassy, the publisher, Nagrela, everything was wonderful, really. People were really excited about the book, made them very emotional, and I'm very, very, very proud of the book, and I'm very happy with the events here in Spain. Exactly what I imagined, the effect I wanted the book to have.
Well, what do you hope readers will understand or feel after reading At the Heart of October 7th?
What I wanted, the book is very important nowadays because it's all based on face-to-face, it's testimonies. So everybody who says that it didn't happen, or it wasn't that bad, or it's all, you know, all the fake news, they can't. I mean, this book proves that what really happened. So that's the point. I think it's very important that this kind of document exists for, you know, for eternity, about the events of that day. So it's very important. That's what I think. This is I've done comics for 40 years in my life, and this is the most significant project I've ever done, I feel.
Reactions or feedback from people, like they're really like
all the reactions were extremely positive. I mean, The most important ones are, of course, the people the heroes of the book. They all love the project. They are very proud of it. Soon it will come out in Hebrew in Israel, and then I'm sure they will be very excited. So, I've even shown it in France, and all the reactions are extremely, because it's a wonderful, beautiful book. All the participants did their best work, because this book was done very close to the events. It was a few weeks after October 7th happened. We started working on it. So it's fresh and it's raw and very emotional, and it's very powerful. And I hope we can continue to sell it across the world.
Are there like where can you get the book?
Oh, the book is in the stores. I think it's in. It should soon to be in the comic shops and regular bookstores, I guess. Or Amazon or what?
Toda la plataforma Amazon.
And yes.
Pues muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much.